The 2019 and 2021 U.S. state quarters may look ordinary, but rare errors have made some worth thousands. From war in the Pacific to crossing the Delaware, these coins hide shocking value. Check your change before it's too late. Let's start. In 2019, the war in the Pacific America, the beautiful quarter quietly entered circulation. Struck at both Philadelphia and Denver, its reverse depicted a ghostly scene, the towering silver stele of the Pacific sunken battleships, memorializing those who fought in World War II's final chapter. There wasn't fanfare, this was a coin series known more for education than drama. Still, hundreds of millions of these quarters were released with crisp detail, bits of ship hull, palm trees, and memorial inscriptions engraved with care. Behind the scenes, minting demands piled up, and for brief moments in late 2018, dies and planchets were swapped rapidly to meet quotas. In that rush, a faint misstep occurred, a subtle die crack near the date on the obverse, and a microscopic die clash on the reverse, buried within the waves behind the battleship silhouette. The error was so slight it survived quality control, slipping into rolls unnoticed. That it wasn't a dramatic error, no double die, no off-center misprint, but a whisper, a machine's fatigue captured in metal. That would matter to few, until someone paused long enough to look closely. One summer evening in 2021, amateur collector and postal clerk Sarah Kim sorted through a roll of quarters saved for laundry. Each coin passed through her fingers, eyes scanning date and state. She paused at the Pacific quarter. The date looked slightly raised, the 9 in 2019 carried a hint of extra metal beneath its curve. Intrigued, she examined the reverse under a desk lamp and spotted what she later described as a faint echo of the battleship's mast, tiny raised ghost lines that shouldn't be there. It was so slight she almost dismissed it, but curiosity nudged her further. At home, with a loupe and inexpensive scale, she confirmed two things: the quarter weighed exactly 5.67 grams, unchanged, but the minting anomalies, die crack and clash, were genuine. She photographed them, magnified the date and the reverse shell edge, then posted on a forum for modern errors. Initial responses were polite disbelief. One user wrote, "Not sure, need more views," and another, "Might be die fatigue." But then, Mint Mystery replied, "I've seen a handful of these, all 2019 Pacific quarters. Could be a small batch error that slipped through." Intrigue grew. Sarah reached out to a third-party grading service. She wasn't expecting much, maybe a certified curiosity. Weeks later, her coin arrived back labeled MS66FH, full head, with a notation, low die crack from rim through date, minor die clash lines in reverse waves. Included were microphotos highlighting the faint irregularities. No flashy doubling, just real evidence of mechanical stress. Sarah felt exhilaration, the kind you only get when something so ordinary reveals itself extraordinary. The grading note was modest. But when a regional auction listed a similar certified quarter in 2022, the bidding climbed. Starting value was $150. The final hammer landed at $2,600. A panic set in for Sarah. What had seemed like a small find might be worth more. She watched as another quarter, this time MS67, sold for $4,200. By late 2022, value charts showed high-grade error specimens selling $2,000 to $5,000, circulated but detectable examples ranged $200 to $800 depending on visibility. The sense of value evolution gathered momentum. By mid-2023, mystery deepened. A collector in Vermont submitted several rolls, unsorted, with 4 similar 2019 Pacific quarters showing the same errors, 3 mint state, 1 VG10. The VG10 example sold for $1,200, the high-grade pieces sold privately at $5,800 each. Sarah realized her coin, graded slightly lower than those, was still valuable, perhaps $4,500 in a private sale. The market was establishing tiers based on grade, clarity, and even which mint produced the coin. Philadelphia errors seemed rarer, Denver copies surfaced later and sold for slightly less, around $4,000. Then came the twist that shifted narratives. In early 2024, a blog by a numismatic metallurgist posted a piece showing that the die crack and clash were part of a rare die pair used only at the Philadelphia Mint in early December 2018. He overlaid images, Sarah's coin, another collector's in MS67, and a military archive photo of a die showing matching fractures. That confirmation elevated the quarter from oddity to official die variety. Soon after, the die images circulated, and collectors referred to it as the 2019 P War in the Pacific die pair error. The identification brought legitimacy and liquidity. Eager buyers lined up. In spring 2024, Sarah decided to consign her quarter via a top-tier coin auction. She didn't expect fireworks, but when bidding opened at $3,000, momentum surged: $4, $500, $5, $200, $6, $800. The final hammer rang $7,200. A quarter minted in 2019, worth over a century of face value. Sarah's pulse raced. She'd found a nugget of history and value in a pocket filler. That auction set new valuation tiers. Circulated errors, $250 to $1,200. Mint state MS66, $4,000 to $6,000. MS67 examples, $6,000 to $9,500. And then came the last layer. An MS68 coin surfaced privately with pristine fields and aggressive die definition, selling for $12,400. The value trajectory was clear: rarity, grade, tied to the known die pair, and unexpected prominence, the physical coin, its die crack running under P of 2019 and the ghost masked lines just above the waterline, became its enduring signature. Its subtlety made it more appealing, a hidden treasure for those willing to look. A quarter that once washed laundry and rattled in vending machines now carried a narrative as potent as the war it memorialized. The story didn't require dramatic spoilers. It revealed itself slowly, in miniature details and small reveals of mint operations. Collectors saw not just an error, but a piece of mint history, a testament to human oversight amid machine perfection. By late 2024, the community buzzed. Forums glowed with research. Spectral analysis showed no planchet irregularity, the errors were purely die-based. The die pair had been retired quickly, but not before striking thousands of coins. The total estimated error coins ranged 3,000 to 5,000, of them, perhaps 300 in mint state condition. That scarcity, combined with detailed definition, gave genuine collector stock hope and prestige. Today, the 2019 War in the Pacific Quarter error is no longer an obscure curiosity. It's a modern collectible milestone, a coin born of subtle mechanical stress, found by a hobbyist, elevated by a compiler of evidence, and validated by market demand. Its story is circulating now, passed from one hand to another, each owner adding layers to its narrative. Value tiers solidified, but anticipation remains high. If a top-grade MS68 came for $12,400, who knows where an MS69 might sell? Some collectors dream of that tier. One thing feels certain: a coin designed to honor history has made its own. In 2021, the Crossing the Delaware quarter quietly entered circulation, part of the America the Beautiful series honoring Washington Crossing Historic Park. Minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, its reverse captured George Washington guiding the troops through icy waters on Christmas night in 1776, with frosted oars and determined faces engraved in fine detail. Hundreds of millions were struck with pride in design and metal consistency: 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel-clad blanks. The press run was routine, part of the nation's effort to commemorate history in pocket change. But in the blink of mechanical overuse, a subtle imperfection found its way into reality, so slight it would take a keen eye to notice. There was no big announcement, no fiery misprint. Instead, somewhere during late 2020, a pair of dies used for the Philadelphia Mint version began to fatigue. Microscopic fissures formed around the date's digits, some of which transferred onto coins, creating a barely detectable die crack. More quietly, on a small subset of coins, a minute die clash left an almost imperceptible secondary image of Washington's face echoing above the oars. Most coins spun through circulation unremarked, but those few held a secret no one initially recognized. It was mid-2022 when Tom Bennett, a high school geography teacher and weekend coin hobbyist in Pennsylvania, was rolling change at home. As he sorted through Cross the Delaware quarters for his daughter's history class, one caught his attention. The date, 2021, looked slightly raised at the 1, and when he tilted it under the LED lamp, he thought he saw a second shadow behind Washington's hat. His first thought was abrasion. But the extra lines didn't rub off. They were embossed, born of steel forging. With a jolt of curiosity, he fetched his jeweler's loupe and zoomed in. A faint crack arched from the rim through the one, and behind Washington, a ghost image of his face lingered like a photograph double exposed. Exhilarated, he documented it and posted the first photo under the handle, History Hunter. The thread caught fire. Collectors chimed in, some dismissed it as die fatigue, others demanded physical evidence. Among the replies, Mint engineer PM noted it resembled a known die pair error but was unseen in this series. Over the following week, two more examples appeared, an MS66 coin with a sharp die crack, and a slightly circulated piece with a weak clash echoing Washington's sleeve. Those posts shifted the conversation. Here, within brand new coinage, lay a puzzle waiting to be pieced together. Tom reached out to a trusted third-party grading company. A month later, his coin returned slabbed as MS66FH, labeled with both die crack through date and minor die clash reverse. The accompanying micrographs highlighted the dual errors, the crack beneath the date that dissects the first one, and on the reverse, a subtle line replicating Washington's cheekbone silhouette a few millimeters above the crafted design. The weight and dimensions matched standards, nothing unusual in metal composition. This was pure minting irregularity. Suddenly, the coin's importance felt real. In early auctions, similar error quarters caught attention. A circulated MS64 sold for $1,200, a near-pristine MS67 was listed at $3,800. By mid-2023, a typeset price guide suggested values of $250 for circulated examples, $2,000 to $4,000 for mint state, depending on clarity. The market was defining itself. It rewarded patience and close observation. Toward the end of 2023, an auction for two certified examples, MS66FH and MS67FH, opened at $3,000 each. Bids climbed steadily over 2 days, $4, $500, $5, $200, then a surprise. An anonymous bidder pushed the upper coin to $7,800. The underbidder blinked, and another leapt forward, $8,200. That coin sold for $8,200, more than triple initial estimates. The community re-evaluated. Suddenly, values were climbing steeply for coins with crisp dual errors that set new benchmarks. Grade and error intensity became pivotal. MS64, 65FH with visible crack and faint clash sold $4,200 to $5,500. MS66FH at $7,000 to $9,000. The best preserved MS67FH touched $11,000. A single owner whispered of an MS68FH in a private vault, possibly commanding upwards of $15,000, but unconfirmed. Meanwhile, circulated examples remained quietly sought, selling $600 to $1,200 depending on visibility. Then the plot thickened. In early 2024, Tom acquired the die pair numbers via Freedom of Information Act request. Philadelphia die pair D1778, D1779 used between November and December 2020, officially scrapped in early January 2021. Struck coins matched archival records, and die photos showed the exact crack and die clash line, the ghost image traced precisely on every slab. This alignment placed authenticity beyond question, and linked it directly to mint operations. Armed with this information, auction houses updated lot descriptions. Coins struck from die pair D1778-79 became the crossing the Delaware die pair error type, adding pedigree and scarcity. That shift gave collectors confidence. A new wave of buyers entered with verified excitement. Tom's next consignment sold within hours for $9,200. Demand exploded. Collectors began to detail die crack routes and clash shapes for each coin, creating microcategories: single error, crack or clash, dual error clear, clash only, crack only, and intensity tiers. The overwhelmingly rare dual error crisp MS67FH coins gained mythical status. Speculation ran: if only 5% of struck coins showed any error, and just 2% of those were mint state dual errors, perhaps fewer than 10,000 specimens existed in circulation, and fewer still in high-grade. In spring 2024, another twist appeared. A collector in California submitted a 2021 Denver struck cross Delaware quarter with the same die crack, but a more pronounced die clash that printed Washington's image fully, face, hat, and cloak, in mirror relief above the ship's scene. Not just lines, but a ghost portrait. Slabbed MS-65FH with extended commentary, it sold in a private sale for $18,600. That sale reset the scale, shifting values upward for any clear die clash coins. Now, the hierarchy of values ran like this: circulated coins, $600 to $1,500, MS-64FH clear crack only, $3,500 to $5,500, MS-65FH dual error, $7,000 to $11,000, MS-67FH dual error, $10,000 to $15,000, and the Denver ghost portrait example, $18,000 to $22,000 with potential to climb further. Collectors named the highest tier the Philadelphia Dual Diesel, second tier, Crossing Ghost. For the Denver portrait clash, serial investigations revealed another nugget: spectral testing on a few coins found minute trace of copper wear beneath the nickel layer, no planchet error, but indicative of standard production quirks, confirming these coins were internally consistent with Philadelphia mint cases. Their flaws were die-based, not planchet-based, unique to a brief press run. That underscored the die pair's specific lifespan. By late 2024, the Crossing the Delaware coin error was no longer a whisper, it was a verified modern rarity. Forums buzzed with speculation of an MS-68FH specimen, the holy grail of modern quarter errors. Collectors hunted mint rolls, hoping for the faintest sign of cracked date or reverse ghost. Auctions reserved them for premium listings. Few coins tell two stories, one of national memorial and one of machining miscalculation. Few errors in modern U.S. coinage generate such structured tiers in just 3 years. And yet, here it was, a coin that would have only seemed common, now commanding thousands of dollars, celebrated for its fragile fractures and hidden specter. A quarter that crossed more than a river, it crossed from currency into history.